All right, we're live. We're going to celebrate our klezmer Shabbat. Our Chazan is preparing a little bit of song for us to share.
Where is that? It just died. I don't know why.
All right.
Played it before. Hold on. Let me just try one more thing and read.
And if not, Chaz, you are more than capable of providing us klezmer music. I know that for sure.
Wow. Okay, stop.
All right.
Share.
Sounded good before. It's all right. Such a pleasure to celebrate with everybody tonight. Normally, if we were back in the synagogue, our fifth Friday night of the month is our klezmer Shabbat. And it's a little, if you will, appreciation of that beautiful music of Eastern Europe that was so prominent, and not only for the Jewish community, but in the non-Jewish community as well. And our own Chazan Stein is a master of the klezmer experience. So Chaz, give us a little bit of that klezmer music.
All right.
Thank you, Hazan Stein. That was so beautiful. For those of you, some of you I can see on Zoom, and it's always a pleasure to see you, to feel a sense of community. You can all wave to each other and see each other. There's others who are actually on the live streaming as well. And it's just the sense of community. My ideas have changed about this idea of a minyan online. I never thought that I'd think about being able to count those of you online as part of a minyan. But when I see you, it feels like we're together. Right? We're able to transform time and space and to be together. And it's just a miracle. So we're celebrating tonight's Shavuot and Shabbat, which means we have some additions, but it also means that we have some subtractions. Which means we're not doing a lot of what we call Kabbalah Shabbat, welcoming Shabbat. And that was the way of acknowledging that we're still in Chag. We're still in the festival. In Israel, by the way, they finished Shavuot, right? Chaz, they finished today, one day, they're done.
Out of there. We're going to be behind a week in our Torah reading, actually.
Exactly, and that's what happens. As we're reading tomorrow for the second day of Shavuot, they'll be back in the So and reading the regular weekly cycle. So we're going to celebrate. You're going to be able to follow along in the Eitz Chaim book, the Siddur that we use, or any prayer book that you have. And we're going to begin with Mizmor Shir LeYom HaShabbat, which for us is on page 27.
Mizmor Shir, Shir LeYom HaShabbat. 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 The whole world is waiting for Shabbat. The whole world is waiting for Shabbat. Mizmor Shir, Shir LeYom HaShabbat. 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 Tzadik Katamar Yifrach, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach. Tzadik Katamar Yifrach, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach. Ke'eres balvanon yizge, Ke'eres balvanon yizge, Ke'eres balvanon yizge. Ke'eres balvanon yizge, Ke'eres balvanon yizge, Ke'eres balvanon yizge. Tzadik Katamar Yifrach, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach. Hey, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach. Ke'eres balvanon yizge, Ke'eres balvanon yizge, Ke'eres balvanon yizge. Ke'eres balvanon yizge, Ke'eres balvanon yizge, Ke'eres balvanon yizge. Tzadik Katamar Yifrach, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach. Tzadik Katamar Yifrach, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach. Ke'eres balvanon yizge, Ke'eres balvanon yizge, Ke'eres balvanon yizge. Ke'eres balvanon yizge, Ke'eres balvanon yizge, Ke'eres balvanon yizge. Od yenevun b'seva, d'shenim b'ra'anim yiyu, להגיד כי ישר אדוני צורי ולא עוולת בו.
Baruch Hu is of course, the call to prayer, and the rabbis were so brilliant to establish the melodies and the traditions to give you a different feel, like you know that something different is happening. The fact we didn't have a full Kabbalat Shabbat, the fact now that the Chazan is going to use the Chag, the festival melody for the Baruch. And so I'm going to invite you all to rise, if you will, for the Baruch, the official call to prayer.
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamevorach, and we sing together. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach leolam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach leolam va'ed.
And this paragraph is about the changing of time. That's what Shabbat is about. And in the evening prayers, we acknowledge the setting of the sun, the transition from light to dark, twilight, all of those different shades that we have. And so the bottom of the page, Ma'avir Yom Umevi Laila.
Ma'avir Yom Umevi Laila, Mavdil bein Yom uvein Laila, Adonai Tzevot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayam Tamid Nimoch Aleinu La'alam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Ama'ariv Aravi.
We're going to turn to Ahavat Olam. Sophia, we didn't talk about you leading Shema in a moment. Are you wanting to do Shema and V'Hafta tonight? I can see you. You want to lead it? Right? You want to or no? You can just nod your head yes or no.
Oh, I don't know.
You can do Shema and V'Hafta for us?
No.
You know Shema and
Let's do it.
All right. It's not yet. You get ready for it. All right?
Get your book. I heard her do it yesterday. She was great.
She's great. All right, we're gonna give you time to get the Siddur and to get ready for it. Nothing like putting her on the spot about a girl coming up. We'll take care of you, Sophia, I promise. If you really don't want to, you don't have to, I promise you. Chazan, we're gonna continue though with Ahavat Olam. Go ahead.
Oh, really? Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Ahavat Olam Beit Israel Amcha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochveinu u'b'kumenu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratecha v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hein chayenu ve'orech yameinu u'bahem neged yomam v'layla ki Chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem neged yomam v'layla ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem neged yomam v'layla ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem neged yomam v'layla ve'avatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim baruch ata Adonai ohev amo Yisrael ohev amo Israel.
Words of the Shema, now ready, our bat mitzvah. Nothing like putting her on the spot, but you're ready. We know that, so don't have to worry. You're going to lead a Shema and V'Hafta, and then at the end, Lamont Tiskaru, okay? So why don't you go ahead, Sophia, rather. You start. Go ahead.
Okay. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'afta et Adonai Elohecha, bechol aravcha, ubechol nafshecha, ubechol meodecha, v'chayud hadvarim ha'ele, asher anuhi mezavecha yom al yavecha, v'shinan tam lavanecha, v'dibar tabam b'shitecha b'betecha ulatecha v'derech, ukshach becha ukemecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'chayu lo tetefot beinenecha uktavtam al mezuzot betecha u'biyisharecha.
We're going to continue silently with the words Hebrew or English, and then Sophie, I'll let you know in a moment when you're going to continue with Lamont Tiskaru. Here we continue silently. Yomer now, show them more match.
Lamont Tiskaru, va'asitem kol mitzvotai, v'hitem kedoshim leloheichem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti ehem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, emet.
That's your koach. Doesn't that feel good? You're so proud of you. That was so wonderful. You're gonna be wonderful for your bat mitzvah. The idea, even these difficult times, you persevere. Jewish people keep going no matter what. And we're just so proud of you. We're all going to celebrate with you. So we're going to continue now with Micha Mocha, page 44. Hazan.
Kamucha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamucha neder b'kodesh Torah, tehilot osef elem. Mi kamucha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamucha neder b'kodesh Torah, tehilot osef elem. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש תורה, תהילות אוסף אלם. ונאמר יפדה אדוני את יעקב וגלו מיד חזק ממנו, מיד חזק ממנו. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש תורה, תהילות אוסף אלם. Osef elem, Osef elem, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
Page 45, Hashkivenu, we pray for that sukkah of peace to protect us over Israel, over the entire world. We join together, Hazan.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu lechayim hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechayim ufros aleinu sukat shelomecha ufros aleinu sukat shelomecha. Everyone together. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chayim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chayim Ushmor tzedkeinu uvoenu l'chaim u'shalom le'tavianu Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chayim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chayim.
On page 46, the prayers continue with Vishamru, which we do every Shabbat, about that covenant with us and God and Shabbat and how beautiful it is. I'm going to talk about just about in a couple minutes about that Shabbat as well. And then the phrase that we use for the holidays, including Kiddush, Vayedaber, and Chazan, will continue right into that as well. We continue now, Vishamru, page 46.
Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם בריתותם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתותם ביני ובין בני ישראל עוד היא לעולם עוד היא לעולם עוד היא לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתותם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתותם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתותם וידבר משה את מועדי אדוני אל בני ישראל.
You know, as you think about Jewish tradition and Judaism itself, you might think that you know about Judaism. You might think, well, it's only in the modern times. It's only, let's say, maybe since the emancipation, since Enlightenment, that Judaism really had to evolve. But the truth of the matter is that from its very beginning, Judaism adopted and adapted throughout the millennia in every generation. And so it's the creative, fertile minds of the rabbis that allow biblical Judaism to sustain the Jewish people until the destruction of the temple, basically, to be transformed to meet the new needs of a people disconnected to the rituals of the temple, right? Because without the sacrifices of the rituals of the temple, could the Jewish people survive? Could they be sustained? What was going to happen? This was a critical moment. Or would they die out? Just like so many of the other nations that assimilated into the conquering nations. Think about, by the way, the story of Hanukkah. You know the story of Hanukkah, 2nd century BCE. So by the way, it's about 200 years before the destruction of the temple by the Romans. Syrian Greeks, you know the stuff, you know the Syrian Greeks who are there in the land and really are controlling, and they bring in Greek culture. There's a real threat of assimilation. The Jews of Judea were becoming more Greek than Jewish. It was the Hasmonean rebellion, the throwing off of the yoke of the Syrian Greeks, that brought a resurgence to Jewish life. It's interesting to look at the view of Jewish life through the Torah itself. So let's back up for a moment and go to the Torah. If you don't know this, it's clear that our oldest holiday is Passover. I don't know if you know that. It's actually part of a nomadic tradition. That's where the idea of the lamb offering comes from. It's a spring holiday, Hag HaAviv, which is why our calendar and our leap years are determined by, related to making sure that Pesach, Passover, is in the spring. At the time, and it's clearly also in the Torah, the spring harvest. Now, at a time when the Israelites were an agrarian society, the agricultural holidays were essential to celebrate the source of food and give thanks to God. They would harvest the food, and then they would give thanks, and they'd bring gifts to God. But early on, the emphasis of Passover became the exodus from Egypt. It's imbued and embedded the essence of that story into the Torah itself. The book of Exodus describes the connection between Passover and Exodus. See, Exodus has become the foundational experience. Right? In our Kiddush, Chaz, and in other areas, the Exodus is mentioned in the 3rd paragraph of the Shema. It's essential. So Passover, tightly connected to the Exodus in the Torah. Sukkot also is a harvest holiday. It's this one for the fall. But already in the Torah, it's connected to the wandering of the Israelites after they left Egypt, the 40 years. And that sukkah that we built, that probably was the early remnant of an agrarian hut that they would build for this very fast period of the harvest in the field so the workers could stay there. Right? Already in the Torah, we talk about, it mentions building of the Sukkot in order to remember the wandering. But what about Shavuot? Did you know that nowhere in the Torah does it connect Shavuot to the giving and receiving of the Torah? Did you know that? Nowhere. You can read the Torah from back to front. You will not find a connection between Shavuot and the giving or receiving of the Torah. In the book of Exodus, it's referred to as Hag HaKatzir, Festival of the Harvest. It's clearly tied to the harvest period that begins with Passover. That's what it was in the land of Israel. It's the only one of the biblical holidays which doesn't have a date for its observance. I don't know if you've ever thought about it. We know the holidays of Passover is the 15th of Nisan. We know that Sukkot is the 15th of Tishrei. But technically, we really don't know the date of Shavuot. We count the 49 days after Passover, and that's when Shavuot is celebrated. In the book of Numbers, Shavuot is designated as Chag HaBikurim, the festival of the first fruits, in which Israelite farmers would bring in first fruits of the season, bring them to the temple as an offering to God, an expression of gratitude. But nowhere in the Torah is there any hint that Shavuot is a celebration of the giving of the Torah, of Zman Matan Toratenu. Right, Chazan, tonight we're going to in the Amidah, and in the Kiddush we have Zman Matan Toratenu, giving of the Torah. Not in the Torah is there any connection. By the way, this is how you know that Shavuot, as a celebration of the giving of Torah, is a very late innovation. We can see the rabbinic imprint in the life of the Jewish people to emphasize this holiday. In fact, they emphasize it so much, it's called HaChag, the festival, as if there's no other festival for them. For Judaism to survive, it's important the rabbis to become the new Kohanim. Instead of offering up sacrifices, their job is to teach the people Torah and to interpret it. And it's not only the written Torah, it's the oral Torah that helps evolve. That's where the evolution has come through all this time for the millennia. The oral law that allows it to evolve. By the way, do you know there's no candle lighting or kiddush mentioned in the Torah for Shabbat? You won't find it. How do the rabbis find it? They find it in the words of the 10 Commandments that we read today. It says, Zachor, Yom HaShabbat, you shall remember the Sabbath day. In Deuteronomy, it says, Shamor, you shall observe. And from those two words, the rabbis created all kinds of rituals for Shabbat to help us remember and sanctify the day. Rabbinic Judaism has been evolving for from 200 years before the destruction of the Second Temple. Part of a civil war that took place in the destruction between the Sadducees and the Pharisees. And it's only because of the destruction of the temple, necessarily, that Rabbinic Judaism won out. You may know the story about one of the greatest rabbis, probably the greatest rabbi of that generation, Yochanan ben Zakkai. And his students were sneaking him out of Jerusalem. Now, by the way, why were they sneaking him out of Jerusalem? To save his life, but they had to try and get them past the radical, fanatical Jews, the Sicarii. They got him out, but he's caught by the Romans. And he's brought before Vespasian, and Vespasian, there's a whole story about why, how Yochanan ben Zakkai ingratiates himself to Vespasian, but he grants him a wish. And what does he grant? What does he ask for Yochanan ben Zakkai? He asks for Yavne and the rabbis. He wants to move the Sanhedrin from Jerusalem to Yavne, and he wants to make sure that they can survive. Why? Because he knows the future of the Jewish people requires the creativity of change. And that's what every generation is. Hechag, the holiday, Shavuot. Why? Because the Torah has sustained the Jewish people. It continues to do so. That's why we celebrate the giving of the Torah today. Not something that happened so many thousands of years ago, but because every generation has to not only accept the Torah, but make it theirs. That's what we do to be relevant. I can't imagine that Moses ever thought about doing a service on Zoom. I can't imagine he ever thought about it. But it's a great midrash about Moses who's in the back of the yeshiva, and here's a law, right, that he doesn't know, but feels good that they're being quoted in his name. I think Moses would be proud that we are still gathering together, that Judaism can survive in all these moments. And it's so good to see all of you and to recognize that survival. We're going to continue with our service with the Chatzi Kaddish as Chazan is going to lead us.
יתגדל ויתגדש שמי רבה, ועמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביו ובכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב במרו אמן. יש מרבם מבורך לעלם לעלמי עלמיה, יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתבר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה, שמי דקודשה ברכו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן.
The Amidah for the festivals you will find in our Sidura page 306. So you have to move a couple pages, quite a bit through the book for the festivals. And you're going to make sure to add the additions for Shabbat and for Shavuot as well as Man Matan Tortenu. Hazan Stein is going to give us a little bit of inspirational music in the background. Just our souls can feel that sense of communion with God. We're going to continue silently with the Amidah.
Shalom Rab Al Yisrael Amcha Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Shalom Rab Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rab Al Yisrael Amcha Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Shalom Rab Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lecho HaShalom Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lecho HaShalom. Sing with me, Shalom Rab Al Yisrael Amcha Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Shalom Rab Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael V'chaleinu v'chol sha'a bishlomecha Shalom Rab Al Yisrael Amcha Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Shalom Rab Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rab Al Yisrael Amcha Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Shalom Rab Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam Tasim
Leave it to you to be able to fit a yodel in there. And we're going to continue with the Kaddish Shalom. We're back now, page 54. So going to move back in the prayer book again. Kaddish Shalom, page 54.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעמדי ובחירותי, בהמליך מלכותי, בחייך ובמלכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קורי ויאמרו אמן, יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעלם לעולמי עולמיה, יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר בשמם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלב ויתהלל שמי דקדושה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ויאמרו אמן תתקבל צלותון ותהון לכל בית ישראל קדום ונשמע ויאמרו אמן יהי שלום רב מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן עושה שלום במרמיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו amen.
On page 79, you'll find the Kiddush. Chaz, you have a cup of wine there, or
no, I don't, because I'm playing guitar.
I'll hold it. I'm going to hold the wine for you then. Okay.
I can run down the street.
It's all right. You're going to lead us Kiddush. Those of you who have not done Kiddush, by the way, yet, this is your way to fulfill the mitzvah, including this is for the Chag with additions for Shabbat. Please, Chaz.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol am v'romamanu mikol lashon v'kiddushanu b'mitzvotav Vatitein lanu Adonai Eloheinu ba'ahava שבתות למנוחה, ומועדים לשמחה, חגים וזמנים ששון, את יום השבת הזה, ואת יום החג השבועות הזה, זמן מתן תורתנו, באהבה מקרא קודש זכר לציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת ומועדי קודשך, באהבה וברצון, בשמחה ובששון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, השבת וישראל והזמנים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
L'chaim, whenever you do that chaz, I always expect to hear you. I know, drink, lean, but no leaning tonight. We're going to rise together for Aleinu, page 56.
Okay, you know, one thing that happens when you're working with the guitar for a while, sometimes it is we want it to sound pleasant. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל. נתוזו בגובי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אלוהינו, אמת מלכנו אפס ורצון, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשיב אותה אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד, כן נקבל לך. ודו בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
One of the important parts that a community plays a minyan is in the words Devarim B'Kedusha, especially words of holiness, especially the mourner's Kaddish. That's where people need that support and comfort. They need community around them to be able to recognize and deal with loss alone. Is never how Judaism imagined that we should live in life. And so we're going to acknowledge the yortzites of those who have been gathered unto their people. On this Shabbat, remember the lives and love and memories of Regina Astrakhan, Joseph Kubitz, Walter Feinberg, Michael Goldman, David Netzer, Anita Osborne, Aaron Resnick, Herman Rosenthal, Arthur Schwartz, Ovadia Shakiban, Ruth Stile, Jenny Epstein, Michael Gerner, Sam Kyrie, Morris Swedock, Alfred Braun, Bernard Ein, John Funt, Samuel Garber, Edith Mednick, Rosalie Sarajan, Ruth Freiberg, Elaine Hart, Norman Levine, Dale Legsinger, Joseph Perlman, Stan Schneiderman, Harry Wenk, Sergei Zweibel, Roseanne Aroesti, Raquel Bernberg, Harold Bookbinder, Ann Fields, Walter Gans, Alvin Goldenberg, Irvin Nevetsky, Paul Rosenthal, George Toplinsky, Sophia Goldberg, Eva Hoxinger, Herman Meyer, Shlomo Katz, Cheryl Lee, Aaron Singer, and Elizabeth Wolf. For those of you reciting the Kaddish tonight in memory of someone, we pray that their memories are given strength and comfort, whether you're on the screen here on Zoom or whether you are live streaming. May these words give hope and connection and an affirmation of life as we join together in these words. Yit gadal ve'yit kadash shemei rabbah. Amen.
Amen.
V'yalmad yivrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon u'vyamechon u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. V'agalav izman kariv yimeru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach. V'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach, yishabach, yitpa'ar, v'tromam, v'yitnaseh. V'tadar, v'talev, v'talal. Shemei d'kudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata. Damiran v'ilma v'meru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael meru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Uyaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'meru. Amen. May God establish his peace in the heavens, grant peace and harmony for us, for all of Israel and all of humanity, as we say, Amen. I have some announcements just to share. First, I just want to say, for those of you on Zoom, it's so great to see you singing with such kavanah together. Some of you are just in your living rooms. Sophia Skuro, next Shabbat, right, is yours. You ready? You're going to be great. Friday night and Shabbat, we have a great time. And for the Rasmussens, like to have a minyan with the canines there as well, right? It's great. It's so great seeing people in their homes. We never just see it in synagogue, but it's lovely to just be able to come into your homes as well. Tomorrow is Shavuot, day 2. Our service begins at 10:30. Just so you know, the Yizkor service, though, is going to be at 12 o'clock. We're going to wait till the service is done, and then you're going to log on to the Zoom. Those of you who want to be part of the Zoom experience. You won't be necessarily seen, but you'll be able like this to see each other. And we're actually going to give you a chance, if you're reciting Kaddish for the Yizkor, to be able to recite the name of the person that you're remembering and the relationship. So we're going to try and bring some connection to that. So tomorrow, 10:30, and then 12 o'clock for Yizkor. We hope the timings will work out. And then our Kiddush lunch, you'll bring in food, and we'll eat together. Tomorrow night, Zoom Havdalah at 8:45. If you need a connection, by the way, Thursday mornings, I have a virtual coffee at 9:30. By the way, all this information is on our website at aliyahlive.org. By the way, are you a comedian? Some of you are. Some of you think you are. Some of you really are. But if you are a comedian, if you, by the way, an expert at cake decorating or woodworking, I'm just reading the announcement, by the way. Does your body contort into cool shapes? If you've got traditional or non-traditional talent, Howie Mandel wants to see it. Aliyah's got talent. So it's a fundraiser in terms of talent, but the way to start is a 2-minute video that you send to us. Howie's going to look through them, and we're going to start a whole process, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Even though, by the way, the office is closed, we're working harder than ever. You can absolutely find us, Rabbi Vogel at TempleAliyah.org, Rabbi Galko, TempleAliyah.org, the Chazanim, Chazan Stein. You'll find us. You just have to send an email, and we'll get back to you very quickly. We can't be there physically in the synagogue yet. Hopefully, maybe soon for those of us in terms of being able to at least be in offices. We'll see. Services, we're going to wait a while to make sure that we can provide a safe environment for everybody. Anyway, we're finished. We're gonna conclude. Chazan, what do you got? You got a special Adon Olam for us?
Special Adon Olam. It's
All
so
right.
much fun. So much fun. Adon Olam. Right. Okay. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'ed nasa v'chefzo kol azai melech shemo nikra azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichot hakol לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה והוא יהיה בתפארה והוא אחד ואין שני להמשיל לו והחירה ולי ראשית ולי תחתית ולא העוז והמשרה ולא העוז והמשרה והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצור חבלי ביצרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מדעת כוסי ביום אקרא כוסי ביום אקרא בידו הפקידתי ברוכי ועת תשען ועל העירה ועם רוחי גבייתי אדוני לי ולא אירא אדוני לי ולא אירא Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat.
We're gonna go off the live streaming. I think you're all unmuted if you want.